The hammer used to fit in my hand like it belonged there from the start. I built foundations out of stone, but couldn't mend my aching heart. The paycheck stopped one autumn day when steel and fate both had their turn. I watched the years I'd worked to raise disappear like leaves that burn. The silence in that little house was louder than a freight train cry. I stared at photographs and wondered how a strong man learns to survive. Then I heard my father's voice somewhere beyond the dark, saying, "Son, the night gets heavy, but heaven still lights a spark." I was not made by fortune, I was not raised by gold. I was carried through the valley when the winter winds blew cold. Every scar became a lesson, every tear became a prayer. I stand today still breathing because God met me there. The mirror showed a weary man with doubt behind his eyes, but every morning mercy waited with another sunrise. I started small, one step at a time, sweeping floors and finding peace, learning strength ain't always fighting. Sometimes strength is choosing belief. The road ahead ain't always smooth, and some wounds remain unseen, but I found hope among the ruins of everything that might have been. I was not made by fortune, I was not raised by gold. I was carried through the valley when the winter winds blew cold. Every scar became a lesson, every tear became a prayer. I stand today still breathing because God met me there. Now if another broken soul feels forgotten by the years, let my story be a lantern shining through the fear. The mountain may look higher than any man can climb, but grace can move a weary heart, one faithful step at a time. I was not made by fortune, I was not made, I was not raised by gold. I was carried through the valley when the winter winds blew cold. Every scar 'cause God met me there. And every road behind me proves His hands were always there. I am standing strong and steady, built by mercy, built by prayer. There's an old oak table in my mother's room, still holding dust from another June. A folded letter tucked inside a worn-out page, waiting all these years for this very day. I came back home with 1,000 miles behind my eyes and beneath my smile. Some battles end when the guns grow still, others follow a man against his will. The house was quiet, the night stood still, like heaven itself was holding its breath. Then I read the words she left behind, and something moved inside my chest. When I thought the world forgot me, when the road had lost its flame, when the mirror showed a stranger, God still called my name. Through every doubt and every shadow, through every wound I could not tame, I learned grace was standing with me. God still called my name. I spent too long carrying stones, building walls around my soul, thinking strength meant suffering alone, never letting weakness show. But mercy speaks in quiet ways, like morning sunlight through the blinds, not demanding perfection, just asking me to rise. I looked beyond the years I'd lost and saw a future still alive. When I thought the world forgot me, when the road had lost its flame, when the mirror showed a stranger, God still called my name. Through every doubt and every shadow, through every wound I could not tame, I learned grace was standing with me. God still called my name. If you're carrying a burden that feels too heavy to explain, if the darkness keeps on talking and hope feels far away, take one step toward tomorrow. Even if your legs still shake, the strongest men keep moving, one faithful breath at a time. When I thought the world forgot me, when the road had lost its flame, when the mirror showed a stranger, God still called my name. because God still called my name. There was a time my name meant something. People shook my hand with pride. I wore confidence like armor, never looked too far inside. Then the numbers started falling and the walls came crashing down. The crowd that filled my table couldn't be found around. I packed my life in cardboard boxes, watched old dreams fade from view. For the first time in a lifetime, I didn't know what to do. Then I heard a distant choir through a church door left unlocked, and something buried deep inside me began awaking from the dark. The devil couldn't keep me, though he tried to pull me low. He whispered I was finished, but heaven wouldn't let me go. I found strength inside the ashes, where I thought my story'd end. The devil couldn't keep me, and God called me back again. I started sweeping floors at sunrise, learning pride can hide a chain. Every honest drop of effort helped wash away the shame. The mirror slowly changed its language. The man staring back grew strong, not because the road was easy, but because I kept moving on. The mountain didn't disappear, the climb still tested every breath, but faith taught me that courage is taking one more step. The devil couldn't keep me, though he tried to pull me low. He whispered I was finished, but heaven wouldn't let me go. I found strength inside the ashes, where I thought my story'd end. The devil couldn't keep me, and God called me back again. To every man carrying burdens too heavy for words to explain, your scars are not your prison, and your losses are not your name. The night may feel unending, but dawn is closer than it seems. Sometimes God rebuilds a man by breaking what he leans on. The devil couldn't keep me, though he tried to pull me low. He whispered I was finished, but heaven wouldn't let me go. Now every step behind me shows the distance that I've gained. The devil couldn't keep me, because mercy broke the chains. No, the devil couldn't keep me, because God's hand remained. I came home with shadows following behind me. More than a suitcase, more than memories. The town looked the same from the county road, but something inside me never made it home. Mama kept a picture by the fireplace of a young man smiling before the wait. I stood in that doorway and I hardly knew the stranger staring back from those old boots. Every night I heard the echoes calling, names and faces from another morning. Tried to drown the silence, tried to run away, but pain always knew where I'd stay. Then one night beneath the weary sky, I finally lifted up my eyes when heaven called my name. The darkness lost its claim. The chains I carried for so long could not hold me through the dawn. I heard grace across the wind and found the strength to rise again. Though I walked through fire and rain, everything changed when heaven called my name. Now the sunrise feels a little warmer, and the burden on my shoulders lighter. I still bear scars where the battle lived, but scars ain't proof that a man can't heal. I started helping boys around this town, teaching them how not to back down, showing them strength ain't hiding pain. It's standing tall through every strain. Sometimes I still feel the old ghost near me, but faith stands stronger than the fear in me. When heaven called my name, oh, the darkness lost its claim. The chains I carried for so long could not hold me through the dawn. I heard grace across the wind and found the strength to rise again. Though I walked through fire and rain, everything changed when heaven called my name. I wasn't saved by being perfect, I wasn't healed by my own hands. I found peace the day I surrendered and trusted a greater plan. Now every step becomes a testimony of where I've been and where